Welcome to Navaties, your engagement platform and a marketplace. In this video, we would like to discuss how to use the comprehensive or also called as the detailed trade stats that may be available for you to access it. In order to access the detailed trade stats, you can go to the international, click on the trade stats. You should be able to see the trade statistics, which is as part of the Navaties platform. This stats is available for everybody, almost everybody. For some, it is free. For some, it is on a paid version. More details will be available. However, if you are an ultimate customer, or if you are a body or a system where based on our engagement with you, if you are given an access to the detailed trade stats, you should be able to click on this more stats and should be able to see the detailed trade stats. Now, this trade stats is this section is going to give you more information about all the kind of opportunities and information related to international trade, especially imports and exports. So we will be listing at country level, the country level import statistics, which country has imported what kind of products and at what level. Then under product level, you should be able to see information related to a particular product, what that country has imported, how much of exports India has done, what is the current India's market share, and also where it fares. And then we also have a section called as new opportunities, where we have identified opportunities based on the previous market trade activities, and where India could actually increase its value or increase its sales based on various calculations. And finally, we also have one more section called as the growth opportunity, which is a possible prediction of how much growth the product may happen in the next year. And this information is based on the calculations based on the previous year's trade data. Not only 1 year, maybe it's more than 4-5 years of data is validated and then evaluated what is the growth change that can happen. First section is country level. In country level, I should be able to select a particular country and then look out for opportunities in the country. If I select Australia, I can select based on an individual HS code, or I can select a group bulk all codes, and then I can select based on the level. I might want data for only the top two-digit HS code, that is the chapter level, or at the 4-digit HS code level, or up to 6 digits. But when it is all codes, you will not be able to select up to 6 digits. You should be able to select up to 4 digits because up to 6 digits defines over 7,000 odd products. So listing all 7,000 will not be of any interest to anybody. So we have restricted to only up to first level or second level. And finally, you should be able to select data from 2019 or 2020. Now, why have we listed these 2 years is 2019 is considered as the year of normal trade, whereas 2020 and 2021 is considered as the year of COVID trade. So which means it is not all products have been sold because of a lot of restrictions, lockdowns, unavailability of containers. So shipping did not happen well. Crude oil pricing changed a lot of trade activities. So 2020-21 cannot be assumed as the year of normal trade. It is an COVID affected year. So the data that you may get may not be 100% accurate based on what actual normal trade would have happened in 2020 if there was no COVID. So what we do is you can play around and get an understanding of the whole thing. So once I select a country, I'll select data. So let me select some other product. Okay, New Zealand. Okay, then I'll run up to all. It is not allowing me. So I will just select the top 2 digit codes and I should be able to get data for New Zealand for all the HS codes. So import value, import quantity, export value, export quantities, India's current share in that particular chapter, and other exporters share. Okay, what has happened, value versus quantity. And the top level generally will not get quantity because a quantity is a mix of number of units, cubic meters, or kgs. So many components will come into picture. So they will never get quantity as a value in first digit. Maybe when you are selecting at the sixth level, 6 digit level or 4 digit level, you will get at some levels. So if at all I want to understand a little more, it will tell me I should be able to see what each code is, and then, or if I don't want, I can remove. And then I can also use these sections to understand which is maximum, which is minimum. Now, if at all I want to do, instead of 2 digits, I'll do 4 digits. I'm able to get all the 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, all this at 4 digits. Now let's take up an example of 6 digits, but since 6 digits does not, I cannot pull out for this one. I will go for a particular chapter, maybe spices, and remove. Now this is the data that we have related to spices for New Zealand export. So how New Zealand is importing, and what is import quantity, India's export value, and what is the India share in the market. That should give you a brief idea about which all products has more share or less share based on the trade activity. Now this you can try out with multiple. Even for 19 I can select and I should be able to see, and it will tell me. So now for example 90910 91030, this is related to turmeric, right? So it says 64% of New Zealand's import of turmeric is from India. So basically 644 and 414. This is what you will be able to. So 644 is big number, so we don't have to worry too much. 20 spices, saffron we are only sending 9.37%. So $211,000 requirement, India is sending $19,000 worth of saffron. So there is a place for India to play a better role over here. So this is, if you are a person, if you are allotted to work on a country basis, this statistic will help you understand in this format. Now coming to the second section is the product level. Okay. Now in the product level, by whom actually does this support? I would say many of the Indian government bodies. For you, or even at some levels the trade body. For you, it is the more important for you to understand the stats than the at the product level than at the country level. Now it will tell us various activities on how to use this. Now, again, for at the product level, all I have to do is enter the actual HS code and it should be able to give me the results. Now, if I say the product turmeric, spices, turmeric, and I'm looking out for the data for 2020, and the results that come over here, it gives me the complete data about how much trade happened. Okay, it talks about how much USA has purchased. What is the product value, what is the product quantity they have purchased in tons. This is in kgs actually. And exports value, how much India has exported to US, and export quantity, and what is the India share in the market. So India has already 65%. Now here you will be able to identify which country has imported the maximum. You can always sort it and get what maximum to minimum or minimum to maximum, whether on the value or on the quantity. Okay. Our second scenario is also we have some more activities that which countries to choose. This is some based on few statistical model we have arrived at. Okay, these are the countries that you can probably target based on that. One model was based on the total maximum import value. So you will know USA is the maximum importer of turmeric. Bangladesh is the next importer of turmeric from India. Now, if you look at another model, which is maximum revenue model, maximum revenue model will not say who has imported the maximum. It will say who has imported at the rate, okay, where the per unit value is high. Okay, so if at all, for example, if I say 47 divided by 12 is about 3 for 36, 48. So about $4, the $4, sorry. Yeah, $4 is what USA has paid for turmeric per kg. But when I run the maximum revenue model, if you see here, Finland has 564 at 6748. Okay, which means Finland has paid about $70 instead of $4 per kg, $70 per kg. These guys have paid a little more. So 2811 divided by 107. That's about $28. Okay, so where $4, where $28. So then this model will tell me what is the maximum export per unit revenue I can get. So which means I can consider, if at all I'm a person who wants to get the maximum dollar for the product that I sell, then run a maximum revenue. Otherwise, you can always go back and say import value, and you can get that maximum, which country has purchased maximum, and you can plan accordingly. There's also another model that we have, which is the new opportunity model. Run new opportunity model will give me the list of countries where the opportunities are there. Okay, this is based on the scenario that where India is currently exporting. Okay, where is either not exporting or is exporting at a minimum value. For example, India is, as per our initial information, you saw that India has, India has exported 69% of the world market share is India. Okay, for turmeric. Now, but that does not mean, now there is 42% of India, Netherlands, 42% of share is India's. Okay, which means India is yet can still sell up to 58%. Okay, so this new opportunity model will give us that kind of information. Anyhow, I'm going to explain more in the new opportunities section. So likewise, there's also a growth potential model. Again, I will explain here. Now, once you have identified which two countries to choose, you can always do a mix and match and identify for which product, where is the market. So that was 910. I will say saffron or ginger. Ginger is another product of India, which is more important. Crushed or not, neither crushed, and I will run this. Okay, so it will tell me where all the markets, what kind of market is purchasing at what rate. Okay, so Netherlands has purchased, USA has been the top, whereas Netherlands is the next. Pakistan has purchased, Pakistan has not purchased from India, so but they still use ginger a lot. If our relations were great, then we could have exported more. So Japan is there, Bangladesh is there, so we can look at opportunities there. Okay, so this is the second level. The third type, which is the new opportunity, whichever I mentioned just now. If you see, if I run the turmeric, now it will, for turmeric, this our new opportunities, this is a great place where you can look at for country wise as well as product wise. First, let's take us from the product wise. I said turmeric for 2020. These are the 18 countries where we have opportunities. Okay, which means India can still do a little more better. Okay, and there is still a lot of opportunities in the world market. For example, if I take Denmark, okay, India is selling 3% of the Denmark's exports is from India, which means their import is 1 million, whereas India is exporting $228,000 worth of exports. Okay, that's about 2.97 market share. Sorry, not here, this one. Okay, so out of 1 million, where India is exporting only $30,000 worth of exports. That is 3%, which means 97% of the Indian market, somebody else has to be purchasing, has to be sold, right? So when I look for this arrow mark, it will give me detailed statistics of that particular country. So Denmark, now Denmark says in Netherlands is giving, is selling at 37% of the market is from Netherlands, 30% is from Sweden, 19% is from Germany, and France is also giving 3%. India is actually selling 2.97%. This is a new place where India can make a new market for this particular product. Okay. Now, the same way, if you look at Portugal, now Portugal, India's share is 14%, whereas Spain is giving 40% to Portugal. However, India is the major player in turmeric, and it should have been spending more. Now, if you look at that, if I go back to this product level, here, if I take the country Spain, now Spain, okay, there's a lot of opportunities. Spain is actually taken from China, and sorry, we are sorry, this is ginger, turmeric. Okay, now if I take Spain, India is already spending 54%. Okay, now for Spain, India is the maximum exporter. So that means to say, India is Spain is purchasing from India and then selling it to Portugal. Where am I? Yeah, Portugal. If you see here. Okay, so this is why we can increase our trade with other countries. So when you take an example with for turmeric, then our platform has identified these 18 countries of interest. You can still go back and check out all the other countries. You can, it is something that you can always work with. Okay, but if you want to identify strongly which are the new countries that I can really target and sell, then these are the 18 countries. Okay. This is one type of new opportunities. Now, if I want to look at from the perspective of what is that I have for my country, for example, let's take United Arab Emirates. Okay, and I'm not selecting any particular product level, but I'm going to select get the data. Now, this is going to pull out all the opportunities that we have with UAE, which means UAE is importing heavily, whereas India is not exporting that much level. Okay, so if I go down, I'll see India has opportunity to sell 1,515 products. Okay, for all necessary activities, and these are the HS codes. So I will probably sell the description. So if you see gold plating, okay, UAE has imported $8.4 billion worth, whereas India has exported $35,000. If you look at here, diamonds, whether worked or not worked, but mounted or set, okay, that means diamond jewelry, right? So UAE has imported $5.6 billion worth, and India has not even exported 16%, that is 939. Okay, so which means there is opportunity for India to export diamond jewelry to those countries. If I want to look at a little more details, who else are doing, then it will be able to give you, okay, Belgium has sent 26%. So which means India goes to, from India it goes to Belgium, from Belgium it comes to UAE. Now that is one of the opportunities that we can look for. Okay, and we can also look at various opportunities. Aeroplanes, $1.5 billion. India is not giving anything there. Okay, and lamps, light fittings, they are importing $904 million. India is selling only $4 million. Okay, so we can always go for this, look at who all are selling. So China is sending 73%. In Italy is second, Germany is third, India is somewhere in the bottom. Right? So this is the opportunity for people or the business bodies or the trade bodies who are concentrating on to increase the trade with Arab Emirates, UAE. Okay. So if at all you are trying to engage with any of the countries, if you are trying to engage with any of the bodies in other countries, then you want to actually identify what are the new opportunities that can be done between India and that country. Then you can use these new opportunities, either select from the product level and identify which are countries, or select the country level and identify where are the opportunities that we have. The new opportunities has been, again, I would like to bring it to your notice that it has been calculated based on the potential to sell. Okay, which means that country is actually importing a large, and India's share in that market for that product is not substantial. So if we can always look at increasing that value, we will be able to sell to that country. Okay, and this is where our Indian embassies would have to play a better role in order to open up the new market for Indian businesses. And finally, I have this growth opportunity. The growth opportunity is identified based on the variance, which is calculated from the previous year's data, and then arriving at a possible growth value. Okay, so we use the standard, the statistical information, few statistical calculations in order to arrive at that number. And then once we have identified, then we are publishing. However, only criteria here is at some level, there is 0%, which means we don't have enough data or information that we have. And in some cases, there is more than 200%. But what we have done is where there is more than 200%, we have capped it at 200%. Okay. And some places you will also see that there is no data, there's zero value. Then that value, if it is zero, that means we do not have enough information for that kind of, for executing that activity. Okay. So if at all I go back to the same turmeric and run this. Okay, now it says, okay, so Albania for turmeric, Albania last year import was 107,275. Expected imports is 147, which is 37% growth, which means this minus this is about 40,000 kgs worth of opportunities. That is what you can target on. Okay. If it is, okay, for here, we'll say Argentina. Okay. 964,000 kgs is there, and now we have 1.0. So 94 MT and 1,000 MT. So 11% growth is expected. Okay, so you can always look at and see, click on this and see where is the expected growth. You may want to look at some of those. Maybe you may want to eliminate this because the numbers are way too small. But where you have bigger numbers like Namibia, okay, we have more than 200%. The expected growth is 49,000 kgs instead of 11,000. You may want to look at those kind of opportunities. So, example, if you see Nigeria, there's zero data. There is no data, right data. That's the reason why we did not. But it does not mean that we were not able to access, because there was more previous data. So whatever Nigeria's data that you see is the previous year's data, which is not available. Okay, but when we calculated the variance from the last 5 to 8 years, then you will be able to get that expected output. Okay, so this is how you may want to look at Zambia, 12,000 kgs, now 50,000 kgs may be the expected result. Okay, so this is what you may want to use in order to identify. However, the growth opportunity is something that you may want to check, double check before you want to ensure your system explore on that. Okay, so other than these, if you have any other kind of information that you want us to work on, we will be happy to identify and build something for you there. Okay, and if there's something that we need to work on, we will do that. With this, this is the basic stats that we have. However, our stats are completely based on information from World Trade Organization or United Nations, and we have, on the information that is available, we have done a mirror imaging check information and then publish the results on this. Direct access of the UN data may not be 100% accurate. I wouldn't say 100% accurate. At some levels, you will get inaccurate information or incomplete information. But we have been able to revalidate, restructure through other mediums, and then publish this information. Okay, so that you may see some changes at some levels between the data that is available with WTO, UN, or other bodies, and what Navaties has published. Okay. With that, I would like to thank you for being here with us.